I was going to ask you about the director's cut as well, because as a filmmaker, I think like you've made that such a thing. What is it that you think is so worthwhile about kind of presenting two versions of a film?
Well, I think in this case, the real sort of why of the director's cut is that in a genre like this, making a giant space movie is, the economics say you can't really have an R-rated version because, we need the biggest audience to see the movie. And this allows me to sit down and write a crazy movie that has no business existing. And Netflix, in their wisdom, was like, well, I have a way to make that movie exist, the crazy version. And the way you do that is you give me something I can sell that is consistent with your vision.
Good day, legends, and welcome back to Stats In, the place where Hollywood drama gets broken down with the energy of a rocket launch, the insight of a film scholar, and just enough playful sarcasm to keep things spicy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notifications bell because today's story is explosive. We are diving into the sizzling tension between Zack Snyder and James Gunn, and why DC fans are absolutely furious right now. Yes, the director duel everyone is whispering about has reached boiling point, and the fallout is dramatic, chaotic, and deeply entertaining. Let's start with context. Zack Snyder, the mastermind behind the Snyderverse, built a DC universe that was visually stunning, narratively operatic, and polarizing in all the best ways. His films are mythic, brooding, and emotionally intense, with every character operating in a morally complex world. Then came James Gunn and Peter Safran, tasked with rebooting DC, creating a fresh vision for the universe that prioritizes character-driven storytelling, lighter tones, and interconnected narratives that can appeal to a broader audience. It is a clash of styles, philosophies, and tonal universes that has fans across social media absolutely losing it. The friction, though subtle, is everywhere. Every new Gunn announcement about DC projects, films, shows, character arcs, is scrutinized in comparison to Snyder's previous work. Fans debate endlessly. Is this tonal shift necessary? Is it a betrayal of the Snyderverse? Why did Gunn not acknowledge the legacy Snyder created? It is not just a debate about films. It is about ownership, identity, and the emotional connection fans have to Snyder's operatic storytelling. Every teaser, image, and press release becomes ammunition for passionate discourse, and social media has erupted as a result. Zack Snyder, of course, has not stayed silent. Through social media posts, interviews, and subtle teases, he has reminded fans that his universe, vision, and influence are far from forgotten. These are not overt attacks, they are strategic nudges, reminders of a creative era many fans still revere. The effect. A simmering tension that feels like a creative rivalry, even if it exists primarily in the minds of fans and industry watchers. And it is this tension that has many DC fans furious. They love Gunn's vision but feel a sense of loyalty, nostalgia, and protectiveness toward Snyder's original universe. What complicates matters further is the multiverse concept itself. With DC exploring alternate timelines, character arcs, and narrative resets, fans see Snyder's universe as still relevant, and Gunn's new approach as potentially disruptive. Hypothetical crossovers, potential character reappearances, and lingering story threads fuel fan speculation. This dynamic makes every Gunn announcement a lightning rod for debate, creating the perception of rivalry even if the directors themselves are not publicly clashing. Social media has amplified the fury. Reddit threads are hundreds of pages long, dissecting every trailer, image, and tweet from both camps. Twitter debates rage between fans of Snyder's mythic tone and Gunn's character-driven, slightly lighter approach. Memes, fan edits, and hypotheticals proliferate at the speed of light. It is not just cinematic debate, it is a cultural phenomenon, where fan identity, loyalty, and creative preference collide. Some fans argue Gunn's DC is fresh, bold, and necessary. Others argue it lacks the gravitas, artistry, and mythic power of Snyder's work. The divide is intense, and it is fascinating to observe. Now, let's examine why the fury exists. It is not just about tonal shifts, it is about emotional investment. Snyder's DC films were epic, morally complex, and deeply engaging. Fans connected with his universe on a personal, almost mythic level. Gunn's reboot, while creative and engaging in its own right, represents change, a narrative reset, and a reorientation of characters and arcs. Change, even when positive, can feel like loss. Fans feel protective, and their fury is often expressed as anger, speculation, and heated debate online. It is a natural response to the clash between beloved narrative legacies and new creative directions. Industry insiders note that Snyder and Gunn's visions are not mutually exclusive. They simply differ in tone, emphasis, and narrative philosophy. Snyder's universe thrived on grandiose, morally complex storytelling with operatic stakes. Gunn prioritizes accessible character arcs, emotional resonance, and interconnected narratives that can support an expansive cinematic universe for the next decade. Both approaches are valid, both can succeed, but the collision of fan expectations, legacy, and creative philosophy has created this perception of rivalry and fury. Interestingly, some fans have tried to mediate the conflict, suggesting multiverse solutions, character crossovers, or hybrid projects that respect Snyder's legacy. Welcome back to Stats In, where Hollywood drama is dissected with the energy of a rocket launch and the sarcasm of a stand-up comedian trapped inside a blockbuster. Make sure you subscribe and ring that notifications bell because today's story is wild, chaotic, and filled with behind-the-scenes intrigue. Zack Snyder, once hailed as the king of dark mythic superhero cinema, has gone from powerhouse to pariah in the eyes of some industry insiders, critics, and even fans, as his Netflix empire faces turbulence, scrutiny, and unexpected challenges. Let's rewind for context. When Snyder partnered with Netflix, it was billed as a creative match made in cinematic heaven. A visionary director known for grand operatic storytelling, a loyal and passionate fanbase, and a streaming platform hungry for blockbuster content, it sounded perfect. He had creative freedom, enormous budgets, and the ability to craft worlds that theater limitations could never contain. The partnership promised mythic storytelling in the age of streaming, and the world watched with anticipation. For a moment, Snyder was untouchable, a titan building a universe as vast as his imagination. But then, reality hit. As ambitious as his projects were, they proved complex, costly, and polarizing. Netflix executives reportedly became increasingly concerned about budget overruns, extended timelines, and the sheer scale of his cinematic visions. Snyder's signature style, visually striking, emotionally intense, morally complex, clashes with a modern streaming model, which increasingly prioritizes efficiency, immediate engagement, and content that generates quick metrics. Large-scale ambition, it turns out, is a double-edged sword when your platform is trying to optimize algorithmic performance over mythic storytelling. Fans, of course, remained loyal, but mainstream reception has been mixed. While Snyder's projects are adored by a segment of hardcore supporters, critics often highlight pacing issues, narrative density, and tonal heaviness as obstacles for broader audiences. Netflix, meanwhile, is reportedly reassessing the value of Snyder's universe-scale projects in a rapidly evolving streaming market. It is not that his work is bad, it is that expectations, budgets, timelines, and audience metrics are no longer aligned. Suddenly, the powerhouse feels slightly precarious. The reports of tension are fascinating. Sources suggest Netflix was frustrated by the mismatch between Snyder's vision and their financial and operational models. His cinematic ambitions, while visually and narratively breathtaking, are expensive. Massive budgets, complex post-production workflows, and ambitious visual effects pipelines collided with Netflix's data-driven, metrics-focused environment. Essentially, Snyder was building cathedrals, while Netflix wanted high-efficiency theaters. It is a clash of vision and expectation, and in Hollywood, that clash can turn legends into pariahs overnight. Snyder, of course, is unflappable. He thrives in controversy, thrives in speculation, and understands the long game. His influence over fandom and